Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
Part 2, gang, y'all. Let's get it, y'all. Part 2, gang, y'all. Let's get it. Like, share, subscribe, y'all. Get it. Let's go. Man, that joke was crazy, man. He was like, were they really small like that? Or was my roommate stealing from me? Like, he was super country, man. He had a crazy voice. I was like, is he stealing from you? I was like, man, nah, he ain't stealing from you. I felt so bad lying to him though like that. Like, he was like, I was like, nah, he ain't stealing from you, man. He ain't stealing from you, man. I just make him like that, man. You know what I mean? But I said in my mind, like, I saw when Johnny was cutting them junks. You know what I mean? Because he ain't hit the D block. He hit the hardest chicken. You know what I mean? So I'm like, he hit them junks a little hard too, man. So I'm like, nah, hey, I just made them junks like that. But I felt bad. So he was like, you mind selling me another piece then? How about that? I said, don't you usually go through Johnny? He was like, I don't want to go through him this time because I didn't like what I got. I said, why you ain't taking this up with him, Dave? I said, because you already know, like, what do you want me to do, Dave? He was like, I ain't blaming you, but I'm just saying, like, if I'm spending $100, man, like, I at least want a street dub. He said, that looked like a dime. I was like, it wasn't that at first, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I looked out for the ball. Y'all already know I looked out, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, I ain't really know what to tell him. You know what I mean? I ain't really know what to tell him. As he talking to me, I looked up, Johnny was coming our way. Johnny pulled up, Johnny was like, what's up, what you doing? I'm like, I ain't doing nothing, man, I'm chilling, man. He's like, what's going on up here? Dave was like, man, I was just hollering at him, man, because I didn't like what I got, man. Like, it's good and all, but I didn't like the size of it, man. I didn't like the size of it, man. Johnny was like, man, listen, man. What do you want me to freaking do, man? We're in prison. Like, you know, I get what I get. Like, it is what it is. Dave was like, man, listen, I have the right, if I'm spending money, to come complain about what I got, man. You know? I said, actually, you don't. He was like, why I don't? I said, because because you send Johnny to make the play. So I said, next time, man, send Johnny, man. I said, we cool, but you ain't spending no money, man, according to Johnny. Johnny's handling all the money, technically, man. I know all y'all send him and do all of that. I said, but his name is on it, man. So I said, respectfully, though, man. I said, so for real, you got a problem, man, send it to him, man. Take it up with him. Don't take it up with me, man. Like, be honest with you, me and you don't talk business, Dave. He was like, yeah, you're right. But, you know, I just felt like I had to come say something. I was like, man, you good, Dave, man. You good, man. He was like, all right, everything's cool. He stuck his hand out. I was like, everything good, man. You know what I mean? So he walked off. When he walked off, Johnny was like, what else he say? So Johnny's super lit. He was like, what else did he say? I was like, man, he didn't say nothing else, man. He was like, I'm saying, like, you know, I think he had an idea that, you know, that I pinched him. I was like, man, I don't know, man. He was like, because the only reason I say that is because, you know, I mean, I've been pinching him forever, man. And like, he never did this before. He never pulled up on the dealer and asked, you know, why it looked like that and all of this stuff, man. He was like, man, like, you really think I got him? I was like, man, I don't know, man. He was like, man. I was like, get up, man. He was like, oh, yeah, man, by the way, man, that D-block's a cannonball, man. It's a freaking cannonball, man. I was like, man, all right. He gave me the 2-hand pound fist. I was like, man, all right, man. He was like, man, this you know, just keep spinning them, man. I was like, man, I just told him don't talk to me about business no more. Like, so you handle that. I said, that's in your camp. You handle that, man. I said, because you already know I did you right. So I said, don't be having nobody pull up on me, man, like that. He was like, no, man. Like, I'm talking to him at count time. He was like, you know, he's wrong. I'm going to get him lit. And, you know, I'm going to talk to him about it, man. I was like, man, yeah, holler at him, please, man. So he leave. So I get standing around again, you know what I mean? So that jump just made me feel like, you know, when people get caught pinching, like when I did it, I never got caught. I never had to explain anything. Like, but you can't be too greedy. Some people be too greedy. See, he's pinching the Hardy's chicken. I might pinch the Lala. He's pinching Hardy's chicken, so he's making his own pieces. I gave him a street dub and some small little pieces and dust and all of that on the side. So I already knew it was a $100 piece. You know what I mean? But he did a two-step one time, reverse. Y'all think I be doing it. He be doing it too, y'all. So boom. But can you blame somebody though, man, that get everything in his name? Johnny get everything in his name, y'all. Can y'all really blame him though, man? Like, that's a crazy responsibility. You got to understand the responsibility on that is a major responsibility, because if something happened to those dudes, then he's going to have to pay the money or else. One thing about messing with those hard stuff, y'all, like the Hardy's Chicken and D Block and all of that, like, people want their money. People want their money from the La too. But like that stuff, people want their bread. For some reason, people treat that like, yo, since it's so much, I guess because you make so much, because what you charging, people treat that like, yo, you better have that bread. And that's just how I go, man. So like, you know, I can't really blame Johnny for putting everything in his name and like, you know, doing this, but like, he just was a risky fiend. You know what I mean? Like, hey, that's what it all boils down to, man. He liked doing him, and he liked taking risk. And, you know, he used to go take risks by putting everything in his name for them. So I couldn't let it bother me. You know what I mean? Even though Johnny did that, but I talked to him and I told him like, yo, don't be having nobody pull up on me after you do what you do, because I don't want nobody thinking I'm bad business. So I made sure I let him know that, for we can know next time, like, this don't need to happen. So I ended up coming out later on that night, like I told y'all, to work. So I come out and work about that junk, you know what I mean? I dip next door to the 3C part. So I'm trying to see who got money over here. I'm like, yo, I'm walking by, couple dudes, hey, what's up, bro? I got that D Block, what's good? I got eggs too, dude. Like, man, I got 10 stamps. And so I'm like, bro, I don't want no stamps. I need some money. I need money, man. Let me know. You got some money? You send the money? I'll bring the work. And I give you something to hold you. What's up? You know what I mean? So like, and I already knew who to deal with. So like, I already know account, you know, dudes will buck on you in the hole. It's risky pumping to them back there too. A lot of dudes will try you, but they already know if they mess up, do something crazy. And I'm never giving them everything, a dude in the hole. I'm never doing that. They already know that. I'm not giving you everything to the ball lands. You know what I mean? And that's just how I used to carry it. But like, for real, I'm back there trying to see what's going on. So as I worked for a little bit and I moved around for a little bit, I came back in the pod. I came out of 3C from the top tier. So I'm coming down 2C. So I'm coming down the top tier, I'm moving. I get down the steps. When I get down the steps, I hear somebody call me. Hey, Weezy. Hey, Weezy. I'm like, it's dark in the pod. I'm like, it's over here. I'm like, who was that? He's like, Cell 22. Cell 22 is the cell that the other two white boys are in that rock with Johnny and white boy Dave. So I'm like, I never really conversated with them at all. So I pull up, I'm like, I go to the crack of the door, pause. I'm like, yo. I'm like, hey, man. Hey, look, first of all, man, I just want to tell you, man, like, you know, I appreciate you always looking out for Johnny, man. Like, you know, that D Block is freaking good, man. Like, just wanted to tell you. I was like, oh, yeah. So I back up if I can see him. And I'm like, yeah, what's up? He was like, yeah, man, like, you know, that John is freaking, he was scratching like this. Like, he had this hand inside his t-shirt. And then this hand right here was like on his shoulder. He was like, yeah, man, you know, like, yeah, man, like, I just wanted to tell you personally, man, like, you know, like, that freaking stuff was good, man. You know, like, I appreciate everything you do. But, like, that freaking, the weight on that stuff was small, man. Like, you know, like, you think you could straighten this out a little bit more, man? I was like, you all right, man? He was like, yeah, man, it's good. I told you it's good, but like, just didn't like the size of it. I was like, you talking to D Block? He was like, yeah, I didn't like the size. His roommate got up and was like, come on, Weezy, man. That junk was little, Weezy, man. You gave us a little $100 piece, man. You gotta do better than that, Weezy. I was like, I said, man, listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. Why y'all ain't holler at Johnny? You know what I mean? He was like, I mean, you know, Johnny is Johnny, man. You know, we hollered at him and he came over here and got us lit off his, and, you know, he gave us ours, and, you know, we don't really complain, but like, you know, like, Weezy, you're a good dude. I was like, man, like, I really felt a little angry now though, because this is the bad thing. This is the aftermath of pinching. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like this can happen, especially when you're the dealer. You know what I mean? So now I don't want people to think I'm petty. You know what I mean? Because that never was my MO when I'm getting money in penitentiary. Like, I don't want nobody to think I'm a petty dude, man. But right now though, man, Johnny got all his little crew looking at me, man, like I'm super petty, y'all. So boom. So I'm like, yo, man. So I'm just standing there listening to the junk. I'm like, he pinched the Hottie's chicken and the D Block? Man, I thought he was just pinching the Hottie's chicken. He did that in my cell. I was like, man, that joke crazy, man. He was like, yeah, man, like, you know, like, the money is not an issue, man. Like, you know, we both can get money, but like, just want to be compensated, Weezy, man. That joke won't right, man. I'm like, all right, man. I was like, look, man, here, man, because I had already went next door with about 5, 6, 50 pieces already, you know what I mean, of the D Block. I had some Hottie's chicken in my pocket, but it was only like one little dime, which was a $50 piece. So I'm like, man, one of my junk separated in my pocket. I was like, dropped both of the magazine papers on the floor. I was like, I kicked it under the door. I was like, y'all see it, man? He was like, yeah. He grabbed the joint. He was like, 2 of these? I was like, yeah. He was like, thanks, Weezy, man. I was like, they 50s, man. He was like, all right. So now there I go. Already losing money, y'all. So boom. I'm supposed to be making money. Now I'm losing money, messing with Johnny, man. So now I'm like, you know what? I ain't gonna scream on Johnny in front of Dave. I can't go to his cell and complain about this stuff. So I'm gonna wait till breakfast, then I'm gonna say something to him. You know what I mean? Like, cause this, I ain't going through this. Like, I ain't going through this. I'm not telling him what to do, but I'm just like, yo, like, if you got another dude from your crew pull up on me about that they not satisfied, bro, like this falling on you. Like, you know what I mean? I already just lost $100, but I'm trying to keep people in the car though, y'all. Like, I can't mess this up. I got a steady play. That's on the other side of the yard in one building. All I gotta do is just send the money. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, man, I ain't messing this up, man. I ain't messing this up, man. So I went on to straighten him out. But like I say, I gotta holler at Johnny in the morning, man. So I made sure I hollered at Johnny after breakfast when there won't nobody really looking, and his roommate wasn't paying attention, and the little white dudes in cell 22 weren't paying attention. So I called him up to my room. My roommate was mad that he did that shit for real. So my roommate mad. My roommate was like, no, I'm gonna say something to him, bro, because he ain't gonna have niggas thinking. I was like, bro, listen, I already know, you know what I mean? I was like, but at the end of the day though, bro, like, what you want me to do? You know what I mean? So I was like, man, call a nigga up here. So he came up the steps. He came in the room. I was like, yo, Johnny, look. I said, man, the fucking white dudes in cell 22 pulled up on me talking about that shit was little on the D block. Goddamn, they trying to get they compensated. They trying to get compensated for it. I said, bro, I had to throw them 250s, bro. He was like, why'd you freaking do that? I was like, what you mean, why'd I do that? I was trying to straighten them out, bro. What you mean, bro? They were acting like they were complaining, bro. He was like, man, see, man, like, that's what I'm freaking talking about, man. These dudes is not freaking these dudes is never freaking satisfied, man. He's like, they want to be freaking satisfied. They need to go spend their own money, man. He said, if I'm putting in my freaking name, I'm going to do me, Weezy. What do you mean, man? I said, yeah, look, I ain't got nothing to do with that, though, Johnny. I said, do you all you want. I said, but they coming to me. They're coming to me, man. He was like, look, they'll never come to you again, I promise. I promise. I bet you Dave won't. I talked to Dave. That's over with. He's like, now I'm going over there and I'm going to scream on those dudes, man. I'm going to freaking scream. He said, what you give them? I was like, what? He was like, how much did you give him more? I was like, I gave him 250 pieces. He was like, I got to get one of those. And he just dipped down the steps. I'm like, man, this dude is a maniac fiend, y'all. So boom. He went under me. I couldn't see him pause. He was, Soil 22 was under my cell, so I can't really see me yet. But he dipped. You know what I mean? So they lock us down. We come back out. Lady said, stand by for wreck. I'm like, man, I'm going to go holler. You know what I mean? I see what's going on. Make some money outside. So we leave out. We got the big yard. I go outside, moving around. You know what I mean? I see Johnny. Johnny was like, hey, look, man, I apologize again, Weezy, man. Like, you know, like I hollered at them. They just said that, you know, they were just being fiends, man. Like they just tried you. And, you know, like, of course they wasn't happy probably, but he said they just being fiends. And that's why they just asked you for something, man. I'm like, look though, man, I ain't trying to talk to nobody else about nothing for free, man. I said, next time, tell them holler at me about some bread. Like, I need some money, man. If it ain't about no money, then I ain't really trying to talk to them about nothing. I'm just giving you the count, bro. He was like, I get it, I understand. I was like, yeah, but I'm being honest with you, like, don't, you know what I mean? Don't do that, man. Like, you know, keep everything level with me and you, bro. I said, yeah, we gonna make money, everything straight. I said, yo, look, by the way, I said, what's up? We a lock for tomorrow or Friday? Because it was already Tuesday. So he like, oh, it should be tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, it'll be Friday. I'm just waiting on Dave, family. You know, everybody else that came through and put it at my sister's house. So everything that's there, I'm just waiting on Dave, family, to take care of his 100, then everything be straight. You got some more? I was like, bro, of course I got some more, man. He was like, well, look, man, I'm coming back up there to do that again, man, after we pay, man. I was like, man, you can come do that again, man. I said, man, but look, I said, man, I'm letting you know, man, if somebody else come to me, man, I'm going to tell them the truth, man. He was like, you were telling me, Weezy? I was like, man, of course I will, man. I'm joking with you. I said, bro, keep those dudes away from me when it comes to this business, man. He said, I got you, Weezy, man. I got you, man. I said, all right, man. So he dealt. So boom. So I watched what he was doing. He got all them right, though. Like he say, though, like they really used to listen to him, man. Because I'm telling you, man, like a lot of people be so scared to do what he's doing. Like that, getting money, like spending money with dudes back then, like, it was almost more dangerous than selling the stuff, man. Because if you're someone that be like, yo, look, I'm trying to spend $150. Now it's gonna be people they just not giving anything to nobody that say he got $150. Like it gotta be something like, yo, he be spending money. Yeah, he spends money. Like it gotta be something like that to make you want to risk, you know what I mean, getting money with this guy. Because like nobody just do this randomly. So like, you know, the way we have to grind in it, I know it's an unorthodox situation and you take L's, and y'all done heard stories where I done took L's and all of that, man. But that's just how I go back then. You know what I mean? Lawrenceville was a different story. Cash and carry game, sometimes, majority of the time. Like, you know what I mean? Because that green dot stuff is there. But like back on the Sussex days, none of that was going on. You just got to have trust for these dudes to spend the money, man. So like, I kind of was feeling like, you know, I ain't tripping, man. I ain't tripping on this. I just got to make sure I get everything straight. So now my little stuff is going down. You know what I mean? Dude sent me a kite from one building, was like, yo, look, I got some more. You know what I mean? I got some more, man. So you need to holler at me, da-da-da-da. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I told my roommate, like, yo, look, I know we was going to let bro in because we already said we was going to let our other homeboys go the next time. But they want Lala. He told me he won't get no Lala this month. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, dude ain't got no Lala, so me and you might as well go again. I was like, you got your 250? He was like, yeah, I got it. I'm like, all right, look, just put it at my people's. I'm gonna get my man to get us the, you know what I mean? Make it happen for the Western Union. So he's like, all right. So we get the money together. So our little stuff about gone. My roommate still got a little bit of stuff though, but he's trying to get more stuff. So we make the play again. He sent it down there to us again. We make the play again. Now we got it. So this time around, we got a fresh batch. So I'm like, man, what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm gonna see. So now we got the joke, but I ain't trying to make no moves because I ain't trying to do nothing until Johnny pay me my bread. So this was on a Friday. He didn't even pay me Friday. You know what I mean? I told you Wednesday or Friday, he said he was going to have it. But he didn't even pay me Friday. So I ain't say nothing to him because, you know, Saturday, he ain't going to get none of this until I get our bread. So before I can even say anything to him, I heard a knock at my door. Yo! He was like, I seen the white arm. I was like, yo! He came in the joint. He was like, what's up, Weezy? I was like, what's good? He was like, hey, man. Just wanted to give you this, man. I was like, well, that's the bread. He was like, yeah, man, right there. He was like, yo, look, people just, you know, it's at Western Union, man. You can tell them go check it or whatever you want to do. It's there. I was like, it's the whole 400. He was like, yeah. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get my people to go pick it up. So he was like, what's the word though, man? Like, I see how you moving. Man. What you got for me, man? You got something I can put in my pipe? Let me try something, Weezy. I was like, let you try something. He was like, yeah, man, let me try something, man. I was like, yo, listen. I ain't really got a whole bunch to try. I said, I appreciate the 400 though. You know what I mean? I said, you went past the deadline you're supposed to pay me. I said, I appreciate the 400. I said, but I ain't even checked to see if that was right yet, bro. I ain't got nothing right now, bro. He was like, man, you got some more Weezy, man. Come on, man. Don't leave me like this. I said, I'm not leaving you like nothing, Johnny. I said, what you want me to do, bro? Like, I'm hustling, man. I can't be wasting nothing right now. He was like, man, please, man. Man, please, man. I was like, man, look. He was like, man, look, if you give it to me, man, I'll do it right here, man. I'm not even gonna go around the friends, the homies, man. I'm not even gonna go around Dave and them and let them see, man. He was like, man, I'll do it right here, man. I was like, shh. I just felt like if I keep telling him no, this man never was gonna leave my cell, y'all. So boom. So I'm like, man, Lord. I'm like, I turned around on me. I was like, I ain't even wanna see it. Me and my roommate barely just finished sleeping, Joe. I'm like, that's in the deep block. Put something on this piece of paper. I was like, here, man. He was like, what is this? This food? I was like, yeah, it's the D block, man. He was like, oh, man, Weezy, you keep the fire. You keep fire, Weezy. Oh my God, man. I was like, man, look, man, you gotta have some more money, bro. Like, for real, bro. Like, he was like, man, I'm gonna go holler at everybody, man. I'm gonna go holler at everybody, man. And I'm gonna get some freaking money together, man. He's like, because right now, I don't really have it like that, Weezy, man. Like, I don't have it like that, man. Like, you know, like my parents right now, they're going through something, man. They told me I'm on punishment until next week. I was like, well, look, though, I'm just giving you the count. Like, don't cry. You ain't getting it. I'm just letting you know. Like, don't do it, bro. He was like, man, look, those guys, man, they're going to spend the money, man. One thing about it, once they see that I'm high, they're going to spend the money, Weezy, man. So, like, you should be freaking thanking me. He said, because I'm going to go around them and let them hit. You see this right here, Weezy? I was like, what? That little bit right there left? He said, yeah, I'm going to tell them that I need $20 for this. I'm like, you going to charge them $20 for, like, basically, like, 2 hits. He was like, they're going to share a hit a piece. Then they're going to get high because this is good, Weezy. He was like, hold on. He went to the sink. He was like, he cut my faucet on. I'm like, he put his fingertips under the water. He was like, oh, God. I love the drain, Weezy. He put his head back. He was like, oh, I love that drain, Weezy. I was like, man, hurry up and get out of my cell, man. He was like, look, I'm going to holler at him, man. I'm going to holler at him, right? Everything, we're going to be cool, right? I was like, yeah, we're going to be cool, man. He was like, you sure? He came with the 2 pound Jones. I was like, man, we're going to be cool, man. All right, man. He was like, all right, he dipped out. I looked, he was going down the steps like this again. Go. I looked, he disappeared. I looked back up later, they all was sitting on the steps. Johnny was up there running his playbook to him again. I'm talking to him. I see Dave standing there. Dave got a serious face. Dave like this. The other 2 white dudes sitting on the steps, they like, are they listening to him? So next thing you know, he disappeared. When he disappeared, I'm standing on the top tier. I'm like, man, this joke crazy, man. I was like, still, you know what I mean? I still ain't hollered at my people to see if that money was right yet. You know what I mean? I'm waiting because I didn't have no cell phone. I couldn't do nothing but just call somebody to tell him, look, yo, that's down there. You know what I mean? So I'm just waiting to hear confirmation. I'm just waiting to get back on the phone to get confirmation. So I'm chilling on the top tier. I look up, I seen Dave coming up the stairs. Dave was like, how you doing, Weezy? I was like, I'm doing good. He was like, hey, man, you mind coming down to cell 22, man? They want to talk to you down there. I was like, who, Johnny? He was like, nah, Johnny's in our cell. I said, so who? You told me the 2 white boys? He was like, yeah, they want to holler at you. Me too. I was like, you too? He was like, yeah. I was like, I'll be down there. You know what I mean? I don't know what they talk about. I was kind of thinking they was about to complain. I was like, yo, Johnny probably went and told him, yeah, Weezy got some more work. See if you can get him out of some more work, y'all. So boom. That's what I was thinking. But I was thinking crazy. Because that definitely wasn't it. So I let Dave leave. Then he went down to cell 22. I waited like 5 more minutes and I looked around. I was like, where Johnny at? And I was like, I looked down to you. I was like, see this dude, man. I was like, shh. Push. Went down the steps. I get down the steps. Walked down my cell 22. The door was open. I walked down there. I walked in there, John. I thought I was gonna see all of them in there. Johnny, Dave, all of them. I walked in. It was just 3 white dudes. I'm like, I walked in. I was like, what's up? They was like, what's up, man? I was like, where Johnny at? They was like, I don't know where Johnny at. I was like, what's good? They was like, man, look, we just wanted to tell you, man, that we're not freaking going through Johnny no more, man. We trying to do it ourselves, man. Like, we're not freaking going through this shit. We don't have time for Johnny, man. Like, we trying to see, could we buy from you, man? We know we never did. Is it okay if we can buy from you direct?
Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart just to open your eyes up.